Good afternoon, grade 10s. This is now the second lesson. I'm going to put it in a playlist for developments. So let's jump right into it. If you want to listen to the introduction to this, please go have a look at lesson 1. It's going to touch on all the basic stuff, the introduction to developments. Alright, so in front of us we have a cylindrical shape that has been truncated as well. Right, you can see it's like a can of cool drink, and then it has been cut at the bottom and at the top on an incline. So the first thing is, just like we've discussed, usually we have to, there's the front view, the top view, we have to project the front view over onto the right to be able to do the development. But because we are working with the circle, it's slightly different than what we are used to. We have to now divide the top view in 12 equal pieces. Alright, so I've explained in the previous video regarding the copy piece. I'm not going to draw this on video with you. I expect you guys to be able to do this. So you can have a look at my older videos where I go through the hexagon, pentagon, triangles and all these shapes. There's even some videos that I go through circle divisions and so on. So here we have the divisions. We used a 30 and 60 degree angles to do the division. Now, the rule of thumb is we always want to choose the smallest part of the front view. Like if you look at height wise, this line to this line vertically is longer than what that little line is there. So we are going to start the development using this point. That means this point here is going to be labeled point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. The reason we need to do this division is because we have to now use this division and project it up so it correlates with the front view here. So if I take point 1 and I bring it up in construction, you will see my point 1 is supposed to line up here. So this is point 1, 1. Next I have 2 and 12. So that goes all the way up. Then I have 11 and 3, then I have 4 and 10, which is in the middle, then I have 5 and 9, then I have 6 and 8, and lastly I have 7 on the side. So projecting all these points up means this is going to be 2 and 12, 2, 12, 3, 11, 3, 11, 4, 10, 4, 10. By now I also hope that you guys are quite familiar with the labeling. We went through that when I did the solids. Please go have a look at it again. All of these are in any case going to be so beneficial for you when you start preparing for your exams. Alright, so we have all these developments and all these numbers now that's on this truncated cylinder. So projecting all of these points across is going to look like this. So from the bottom it's 7, then it's 6 and 8, 5 and 9, 4 and 10, 3 and 11, 2 and 12, and 1. Right, so you'll have something that looks like this. And this is only for the bottom half, so you have to do exactly the same for the top. So 1, 2, 12, 3, 11, 4, 10, 5, 9, 6, 8, and 7. Quite a significant amount of lines that I have here. Alright, so this is going to be the construction. Now I can start with the development. So the rule of thumb is I would like to rather use, let's say 5 or 10 millimeters from the side. Let's use 10, just so we have a bit of deviation between the development. Alright, so there we go. So luckily for us, we already know the first points should be here and there, because it's point 1 and 1. It's also going to be on the right hand side, but first, this is now slightly more complicated because you can't take your compass and just cut off on the circle here. So we have to do one of two things. Either we have to do segment lines, or we have to do an equation, a formula. So the formula to determine the length of a can or a cylinder that has been cut open is this. It's pi times diameter. Right, so pi times diameter. So in this case, it's going to be pi times 40. That is the diameter for the circle. So it's 3.14 times 40. That gives me 125.6 millimeters. So from here, it's going to be 125.6 millimeters to the end, where I have to label my second number. But in this case, I'm going to use segment lines. I want to show you how that works because that's going to be more beneficial to you in the future. All right, so instead of using this, we'll get back to this in a minute. In line with the point you just made, I want you to draw a segment line. Right, so just a construction line. I don't have a specific angle for this. It doesn't matter. It can be slightly steeper. It can be slightly more slanted. You can choose how you would like to go about this. Then I'm going to grab my compass. I'm going to set it to any number, let's say between 5 and 10. It all depends on the page space that you have left. I'm going to put my compass on 7. Okay, and then actually, you know what, let me make it, let's do this. I'm going to put my compass on 10. I should have more than enough space. You start here all the way where the line intersects this vertical line, and you start cutting off 12 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if you start labeling this, it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Everything that's further away, it's not necessary. You just need to have 12 segments. If you count in between, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 segments. All right. So we need to find a place where this last segment can connect onto. So that is why we do this, the pi times 40. So now we have 2125.6. So in length of your drawing, right? You're going to measure, there's 120, 125. So 125.6 is basically going to be there. All right, so there is the distance, the 125.6 millimeters is what I have there. So from the last segment that you've made 12, you draw a line that goes onto there. This line we refer to as X. That's going to be the reference line that we need for the rest, right? So we need to do segments, divide this line in 12 segments. So from here, everything that's on the right hand side of that segment is non-existing anymore. So you can either erase it, you can leave it as such. As long as it's still construction, it most doesn't matter. Okay, so this is what we have. Now let's have a look. This is now where we have another technique that we have to use, where you use both of your triangles. You grab one triangle, you put it at the bottom. You grab another one, you put it on the top of it. And now these two can move along together. You now want to move them so the top one is in line with line X that you've just made. So here's the bottom triangle, there's the top one. As soon as they line up, the bottom one is stationary, it doesn't move anymore. And the top one is the one that's now sliding and moving all the way on your drawing. Alright, so go ahead, line them up. And now from the segment line, now you can start moving this down to 11. And then you draw a line to 10, to 9, and so forth, all the way 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and lastly 1. Alright, so now you should have all of these segments. You can go ahead and you can project all of these points directly to the top, like so. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so now you have 12 equal segments. Point 1 is going to be there. Point 1 is also going to be all the way at the very end. So 1, 1. Alright, so that's how the number system is going to work. So from here, it's going to be 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. So you can already see 1 is connecting up to where 1 is. Now remember, the segments are divided in such a way that 2 and 12 are the same. So this 2 and 12 has to be on the same dot, and so forth. But you'll see now how the trajectory happens at the top and at the bottom. So next, number 2 goes to number 2, which is there. 3 goes to 3, which is there. 4 goes to 4, which is there. 5, 6, 7, all the way in the middle. 8 starts going back up again. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. I hope you see how this actually starts connecting and what it looks like. At the top, everything happens exactly the same. So 1, here you'll have 2, ignore that little dot there. Actually, let's just do this. Alright, so here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, right, 7 all the way in the middle, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, back to point 1. So the only one we definitely know from 1 to 1, that's A quality, 1 to 1, that's A quality. And now we have a freehand drawing that we need to do. So from 1, you have to draw a freehand curve that goes all the way up like this, and a freehand curve that goes all the way like this. Alright, so that's it. When it comes to the cylinder, we don't add any folding lines like we've done with the previous drawing. Otherwise you are going to fold this so it looks like 12 angled shape. So as it stands now, that's it. So if you take these and you bring them together, you will get exactly this shape here. Alright, let's move on to lesson number 3.